we film First Person Defender, we can't show everything because we don't have the time. But here are some pointers that we talked with David about, reference to using an ankle holster. And these are things that you should probably know as well. When you wear an ankle holster, there's a couple different ways to place it. You can place it down low where your shoe line is, but when you sit down, it's likely to be exposed as your pants come up. There's a way to cover that, and that's by wearing an extra sock and actually wearing that over the ankle holster. The other thing, and the one that I do the most often, is I actually wear a higher shoe or a boot, and I put my ankle holster on top of that boot. And what it does is it keeps that ankle holster from falling down. In this way, when my pants are covering it and I sit down, or if I cross my legs, it doesn't become exposed. Seated in a car with an ankle holster is a great place to be. I don't have to make a defensive move as you walk up and start talking to me. We can engage and talk right now, or I can engage you. This is what it looks like and what you're not seeing when the door's closed. As I sit here and you walk up, my hands come down, I grab my knee, pants clear, I lean out to say what? And I've already got a gun in my hand, if I need it. But it's a great place to wear an ankle holster when you're driving. At the range, we worked on one technique, seated at a table with David. But here's another way to do this if you're not as fortunate to be seated at a table. If I'm standing, the gun is a long ways from my hands, so I've got to move to the gun, but while I move to the gun, I've got to also think about clearing my pants leg. So that's got to happen simultaneously. Then I can move to the gun and I can draw. The problem is, out here in the open, everybody can see exactly what it is I'm doing. With the absence of cover, I at least have this chair right here. I could cower behind this chair and I could make my move. So from here, I'm thinking, oh, please don't hurt me, don't hurt me. As I come behind the chair, don't hurt me, I've already uncovered the gun. And from here, I can make my draw, leaving my hand up in a defensive position and come out. In any force encounter, let alone a lethal force encounter, there are two topics that are super important. The first is tunnel vision and the second is timing or speed of action. Remember this, stare at nothing and see everything. With these two targets off to the side, if I stand here and I don't look at them specifically or stare at them, I can see them both. So if they had arms and they were able to move, I would be able to see them, you know, brush their hair, put their hands up, put their hands down. I could see all of that by staring straight ahead or looking straight ahead and not staring at them. The problem is the instant I turn to address one, I can no longer see the other. So if I'm looking at this target, I can't see what this one's doing. And if I look at that target, I can certainly not see what that one's doing. The problem is, back in the day, we used to talk about eyes, head, gun movement. So when people would want to search or cover a room, they would do this kind of movement with their eyes, head, and if they had a gun, they would be covering this group. And the reality is, and what I've been teaching for a long time now is, if I stand here and I cover these two targets, I don't have to turn and look at them to be able to address their movements. So that's how we break tunnel vision. Stare at nothing, see everything. Timing. Timing is the next most important thing. You have to realize that if somebody doesn't come into a room and immediately shoot you, you have time. You can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their actions that you have time. Now, if somebody's pointing a gun at me and I think that they're going to shoot me, if I can see their finger on the trigger and they may actually do it right then and there, I may have to act immediately. And if that means that I move for my gun while trying to get out of the way, that's fine. But if they don't shoot me immediately, I've got time. And it is quite often that we see people rush into situations without thinking about all the time that they have to think or move to cover. So remember timing. Think about what it is you have, what situation you're in. If you have an ability to move to cover, you do it. If you have ability to do a stealthy draw, you do that. But don't let them force your hand. And remember this, if you have an ability to move out the open door behind you, that may be your best option.
I want your money. Give me the money. Give me the money. Give it here.
Whoa, dude, what the heck?
Y'all two, get up.
Hey.
Come on, get up. Y'all two, stand up.